It's been about 6 months since I last emptied my worm in system. Right now it's about halfway full and I just added a week's worth of food scraps to it. And this was after I emptied it. And emptying it is very, very simple. You just have these drawstrings at the bottom, you open them up and let the contents fall out into your bucket or tray. And then you just keep pulling out material from the bottom until you hit either unfinished material that you just put back in through the top, or if you start running into some worms. So I just finished doing that and I took the castings outside. So let's go take a look at them and see how we did. And here's my finished worm castings. I have a pretty nice sized Tupperware bin getting full with this, and this is 6 months worth of food scraps and some shredded paper and some shredded cardboard and some contaminants. But before we get to that, all I did was I had a tray that I put underneath the worm in, as you just saw. So I used this funky yellow tray, brought them all outside, and then I have this basket that I found that's somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. So then I would just take globs of the stuff out of the tray, dump them in here, and then shake. It takes a little while. I probably spent a good half hour sifting through all this stuff to find the contaminants. What were the contaminants, you may ask? If any of you vermicomposts out there, maybe you've had similar results here. I do have a couple produce labels, which is really weird because I'm normally really strict about making sure I take those off, but it looks like I missed a couple. Then I have these weird fur globs. I don't know what they are. And that's the other funny thing about this is when you're going through the stuff that you remove from your castings, you're looking back in time at everything. So it's really funny because you can't remember what you may have put in there that could have possibly been wrong at the time. But here, this is pretty obvious. I shred all of my paper, like when I get random bills in the mail or something, I shred them. This is obviously the plastic from a window of an envelope. So I guess I probably threw away some junk mail without opening it, and it probably had like a return envelope in it with the plastic window, most likely. So that was the most annoying to get out. And then I had one piece of plastic here, pretty big one. I don't know what this is either, but I removed it. Not the end of the world. And then the other stuff, which was kind of surprising, but I guess not, and it makes perfect sense now why you always hear eggshells, make sure you crush them up before you add them, and worms will eat them, blah blah blah. I don't crush my eggshells. Maybe I'll do it now. So as you can see, I've got plenty of eggshell pieces, and I probably only added 1 or 2 over the last couple months, but yeah, I didn't crush them, and so there they are. So I guess I'll crush these up and add them back to the worm system and see if they still are hanging around in another 6 months. But at the end of the day, all this effort was definitely worth it. You know, I kept all my food scraps out of the landfill, I kept my worms healthy, and I have some excellent soil amendment here to work with for helping out my indoor plants. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was extremely riveting and nail-biting, but if you get excited about this stuff, that's great. And if you'd like to learn more about vermicomposting or composting in general, be sure to check out crazyaboutcompost.com. I've got a lot of free classes and also a new book on composting as well. So take a look, hit me up with any questions you may have, and I'll talk to you soon. Happy composting.